Good afternoon, everyone. It's Mr. Montgomery back again. We're working on Unit 7. Today we're on lesson number 3. So we've been working a lot with our 10 frames, and we're going to continue work with some 10 frames, but we're going to get to work with some huge numbers, some really big numbers, bigger than the numbers that we usually work with, which is pretty exciting. So, and today, we are going to do something so similar to what we do every day. So you guys are going to think this is a little bit more fun. Some of you might think it's a little easy, which is fine, because I think that this is kind of fun and easy also. But, of course, I do this with you guys every day. So, okay, I'll give you a hint. It's something we do during math calendar. Every time. We count by tens. We skip count by tens to find out how many days of school we have, right? We're doing something very similar for this lesson, which is pretty fun. And right now you're probably looking at my screen going, Mr. Montgomery, what are these giant red square lines doing all over your paper? Well, I'm so happy you asked, because wait, how do we count by tens in math calendar? That's right, we use our bundles. We use bundles of straws, our sets of tens, and we're going to pretend that these square lines right here, we're actually going to pretend that these guys right there, we're going to pretend that these are our bundles of straws. All right? And let's just kind of jump right into it and introduce you to exactly what we're doing. Okay? Let's start with a really low number. And let's start with the number 10. 10 is a nice, fun number to start off with. So they want to know how many sets of tens are in the number 10. Well, we can start our skip counting by going from top to bottom of this chart. And we start counting off by our tens, and we tap the paper right here and say 10. But we stop because we reached our number. How many times did you just tap your paper? You should just be saying, Mr. Montgomery, I tapped it once. And then we can write that number 1 there. But guess what? I'm also going to teach you a little trick. Okay? This trick makes things so much easier. Watch this. Say, if I didn't know that, and I wanted to use this trick, I need to find out how many tens are in the number 10. Guess what? You can just take your thumb and cover up the 0. Watch this. What number is left? 1, right? So how many tens are in the number 10? Just 1. Or here's another thing you could do. If you don't want to possibly make a mess on your paper, which is fine, or you could just use your thumb to cover it up on the paper. You could also just look at what's in this tens house right here. The 1 is in the tens house. So how many tens? Just 1. That's all. All right, so let's go on to a bigger number. Okay, let's do a bigger number that's a little bit more fun, a little bit more challenging. Ready? Let's do the number 30. 30 is a fun number. Okay, so let's do the first method that we tried, where we just kind of count by tens going down until we reach a number to see how many boxes we tapped on. Okay, so let's start that. 10, 20, 30, and stop, because we reached the number 30. And how many times did we just tap our paper? Well, if you're not sure, you can look at mine. And I made these fancy blue dots every time I tapped. So I made 1, 2, 3. 3 dots, and that means I have 3 sets of 10. Or we could use the other fancy methods that we learned. You can just kind of cover up that 0 right there on the screen. And how many, what number do you see left? The number 3. Or if you don't even need to do that, you just say, Mr. Montgomery, I can see right there in the tens house is the number 3. So that means there are 3 sets of tens. And you just bring that number right over here into that spot. Okay? Nothing too crazy. So let's do an even bigger number. You ready for this one? I'm going to make this pretty tough. Okay. So let's do the number 60. So make sure you write a 60 in that purple box. Okay, so go ahead and I'll let you try this one on your own real quick. Tell me how many sets of tens go right here. How many sets of 10 make 60? Are you guys done yet? Do you need a couple seconds? Okay, I think you should be done by now. So let's go ahead and we'll use a couple different ways that we talked about to figure this out. So we can start counting our way down from top to bottom. So let's go ahead and try that. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. But I ran out of space. Where do I go? I can just start back at the top on the next side. 60. And I stop because I reached the number 60. And how many times did I just tap the paper and make these fancy blue dots? 6 times. So we know that there are 6 sets of 10. Or you could just cover up that 0 and see what number you're left with. Or we can just look at what's in the tens house right there. Okay? And we have a 6 in the tens house, so we have 6 tens. Now the next one, I'm going to make extra tricky just so you guys don't get confused if there's an extra tough problem you come across, okay? Okay, so let's go into this. Let's start counting by our tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and I stop because we reached the number 90. How many times did I just tap the paper? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 times. So we made 9 sets of 10. It's not too bad. Or, of course, we could use the other way and just look at how many we have in our tens house right here, and it's 9. Okay, guys, let's open up into the next page. All right, everyone, I'll give you a couple seconds to open up to the inside of your packets, and you should see number 1, and they kind of made it a little bit easier for us because they gave us all these 10 frames and these awesome pictures, which kind of makes it a little bit easier. All right, I think everyone should be open already, and let's see what they want us to do. Let's read the directions. It says count by tens, then write the numbers. Ooh. So, let's see what they did over here. First, they want us to find out how many tens, which is how many 10 frames there are. And we can just go ahead and count these. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We have 4 10 frames. So now we can go ahead and trace this number 4 that they kind of made out of dots. But now we have to figure out how many or how much does 4 tens make? How much is that? That sounds like a lot. Well, we can also do our skip counting, right? we can tap each one and count by tens. So we'd say 10, 20, 30, and 40. So how many is 4 tens? 40. But I'm also going to show you guys a little trick to this. If you want a little trick, all you do is take that 4, you bring it down, and put a 0 next to it. Pretty simple stuff, right? And next they want us to write the word. How do we write the word 40? If you're not sure, guys, we every day during reading in Wilson, we tap out words, right? We tap out all the sounds in words. And also, at the very top of your packet, they actually have all the tens numbers and the words, okay? So if you're not sure, try tapping it out. If you're having too much trouble tapping it out, check the top of the inside of your packet, and they give you a lot of help up there with how to spell these words. So let's just go ahead and trace that number 40. No, I'm sorry, not number 40, the word 40. The word F-O-R-T-Y. 40. Okay. Now, I feel like you guys kind of have a really good idea of what you're doing here and how to finish these problems. So I'm going to give you a minute to do number 2 all on your own. So remember, you have to tell me how many tens right there, how many sets of 10, then how much is that, and then write the word. I'll give you guys a minute. Okay, guys, I think that was probably more than enough time. So let's start going over it. So for number 2, let's count how many tens frames we have. Ready? 1, 2, and we have 3 sets of 10. So how many tens? Well, we have 3. And now we have 2 ways we can figure out the next part. To figure out the big number, how much is 3 sets of 10? So we can count by tens. 10, 20, and 30. Or we can use the little trick we learned. We just bring the 3 down here, right? Boop. Number 3. And you add a 0 at the end. That's all. And then the word 30. I will write that out for you. T-H-I-R-T-Y. 30. All right, guys. So go ahead and try the next 2 pages all on your own. Don't help each other, please. I'm sure you guys are just going to blast right through this. Now, if you get done early, I will have a subtraction fact practice coloring worksheet for you guys all set up, okay? So if you get done early, just put this packet on my desk and then go get yourself the coloring worksheet to practice your subtraction, all right? Because we all really need to keep practicing our subtraction because that can be kind of tough sometimes. All right? If you have questions, of course, as always, you can just sit on the carpet with me and my other friends. If not, go on and have fun, guys.